Abraham, on the same subject, take a person who's limited, let's say, to a wheelchair or to a bed or something for 5 or 6 or 10 or 30 years. I see many of them, their health seems to remain perfect, their balance seems to be perfect, and they don't seem to have any exercise beyond what they can do right there in that particular, more or less, almost seemingly inert position. So does that say we don't require bodily exercise to remain healthy?
There is nothing that is required in order to achieve anything other than thought alignment with it. And of course, there are a lot of variables on that. There are people who sit for a little bit of time and begin to atrophy, but that is because of the mental positioning. In other words, it's a hard thing to sort out because some people, you know yourself, when you are out walking, when you are out in the sunshine, when you are looking at nature, your attitude improves. And so there could be an argument, which came first? Did the walk bring the attitude, or did the attitude bring the walk? And we want to say, it doesn't really make any difference. Just get the attitude to a good feeling place in whatever way it takes. So if you are not in a position where you can take a walk, then you work on your attitude anyway. If you are in a position where you can take a walk and let that be the reason that your attitude is bolstered. But do you know people, or have you ever had the experience yourself, where you're out there in the beauty of nature, where all of the conditions are perfect, and you're focused upon some dilemma or trauma, and you're not letting the benefit that could be there be there? In other words, we would stop using environment as our reason for the way we feel, and we would look for the reason being we want to feel good. We would let the determination of feeling good come first and let everything else come next.
Okay, so where I'm headed was...
we know we're trying to head you off.
Well, anyway, Winston Churchill, who ran England for a while, his comment was, he said, I never... run if I can walk, and I never walk if I can stand still, and I never stand if I can lay down. And I had a very full, and as far as I know, very healthy life. Drank like a fish, smoked like a chimney, and had a wonderful, seemingly wonderful life. So anyway, I wanted to hear from you, is it important to us, do we exercise our bodies or not?
But the tricky thing about something like that is, and you hear us talking about this all day, every day, trying to use the results that others are living as your standard or rule to live by will always give you trouble, because usually you're not privy to the other dynamics that are going on within them. In other words, to use the manifestations that others are living as your goalposts is not as good as letting what's in your vibrational escrow call you, to use that as your goalpost, so to speak. So we can say to you, without any discomfort or inaccuracy whatsoever, that the reality that you or anyone is currently living is what you hear us talking about in every single seminar. Most people offer most of their vibration in response to what they are observing. And then you make yourselves crazy, because for every example like that you could give, there will be thousands of others that will bring you examples that are exactly to the opposite of that. And so then you spend all of your time trying to sort out which is the reality. And we say the reality is that every person is living the results of the balance of their vibrational thoughts. And the action that they are offering is the result of the balance of their thoughts. What they are living is not the result of the action that they are living. You are not creating by virtue of your action. You are creating by virtue of the thoughts that you think. But then, now you got to sort that out. Right. If you believe that activity is important to your physical well-being, and you are not offering the activity that you believe is important to your physical well-being, now your vibration is out of balance, and you will not thrive. And you will say, see, I told you it would be that way. You've argued for your limitation, and you have received the result of it. And almost everyone in the world who is taking the statistics would say, look, this is the behavior that is being offered, and this is the results. Therefore, this behavior must equal these results. And we are here to say this behavior is not the reason for this result. The same person could have an attitude that that is not necessary, and so they do not offer that behavior. Yeah. They still expect to thrive even though they're not offering that behavior, and then they thrive. And that's what makes your statistics so crazy. That's why every time someone comes out with a study, right around the corner they come out with the opposing study, and then around the next corner it is another opposing study, until most people don't know which end is up. They cannot figure out what they are supposed to do. We're surprised any of you can find anything to eat, because something has been written about every single thing that all of you are eating. It's the wrong stuff. It's the wrong combination. It's got too much of that. It's got too much of that. And what we are wanting to help you to come back round to is to the understanding that it is you lining up your vibration. When you make a decision about something, eat it or don't eat it, do it or don't do it. But when you make the decision about whether you're going to do it or not do it, line up with the decision. It's the lining up with it that causes the absence of resistance, and it's the absence of resistance that equals your results, because step one has already taken place. You've already asked for it. Step two has already taken place. It's already lined up for you. Now, do, think, act, behave, offer vibration, speak, do anything and everything you can do to now line up with what's in your vibrational escrow. So for some, it would mean eat that. That would line them up. For some, it would mean don't eat that. That would line them up. For some, it would mean do that. That would line them up. For others, it would mean don't do that. That would line them up. That's why we say you got to stop paying attention to what others are doing or not doing and using that as your criteria for your results, because all you got to do is control your gap, and you can tell by the way you feel what your beliefs are. So then, now we come around to this topic. So does that mean I need to change my beliefs? We say, only you know. If you've got a belief that is conflicting with your desire, we were standing in your physical shoes, we'd do something about that conflicting belief, because that conflicting belief will stand in the way of your desire. It will keep you from achieving what you are wanting. You've got to line up the energy. So then you line up the energy and you say, oh man, I had a desire and I had a belief and I changed the belief and I got results, and now I'm going to write a book, because everybody needs to change that belief in order to get the results that I wanted. And we say, there are a lot of things you're not considering. You don't know what's in their vibrational escrow. You don't really know what their beliefs are. That's why we cannot write a book, nor can anyone write a book about the rightness or the wrongness, the appropriateness or the inappropriateness of any behavior or of any desire. But what we can say to you is that you are the creator of your own reality, and you can tell by the way you feel how you're managing your vibration. And when you get a bead on something you want and you find a way to speak of it in a way that makes you feel good, you can feel your alignment happening. And when your alignment comes into place, the manifestation that matches the alignment is evidenced in full bloom for you. But you got to keep your nose out of everybody else's gap.
So I was asking the question for those who have the belief that they are in some way limited in such a way that they're unable to run the marathon or climb the mountain or work out in the weight room or what have you. I was asking for them, and I think you pretty well answered that.
We're appreciating your question. We just want to be very clear that when you see someone and you can feel that they're out of alignment with something that matters to them, there just hardly is anything that you could do to make that better for them. In other words, let's say there's someone that you know is sedentary and you want to help them through the clarity of your example. So you decide that you will devote the next 10 years of your life sitting next to them.
Right.
And we say, not helpful. Or you say, well, no, instead, I will exercise in front of their eyes every day to inspire them. And we say, not helpful either. Yeah. What you want to do is just get out there and thrive and let them witness the determination for joy that is within you. That whether you're in a situation where you feel you must work on your computer all day, or whether this is a day that you can explore some new part of the world and look for bears, when you display to them that you make the best of where you are every single time, that you always lean in the direction of feeling a little better, that you make every effort to speak for your abundance rather than your poverty, for your wellness rather than your sickness. You never argue for a limitation. You always argue, if you will, for your thriving. When they witness that in you, they might pick up that attitude. And then the lesson that you teach through the clarity of your example is, I can thrive under any and all conditions. I can be joyful under any and all conditions. I can find interesting things to think about or participate in under any and all conditions. I am not held captive by my environment, by my culture, by my government, by my relationships, by anything. I am the creator of my reality because I have control of the focus of my thoughts. That's the example that you're wanting to set.
Good. Thank you very much.